The president of Iran and several other officials are dead following a helicopter crash. According to state media, President Ebrahim Raisi, along with Iran's foreign minister, the governor of the East Azerbaijan province, and other leaders were also killed.
It happened in a foggy, mountainous part of the country's northwest, about 12 miles from the border of Azerbaijan. The state TV did not say the cause of that crash.
The vast majority of Iranians, at least 80 to 95% of people, are against the Iranian regime. Yet because of the brutal, violent suppression, they cannot express that.
Local Iranian Americans say they are not saddened by Iran's president's death. Instead, a member of Gina Fresno is asking the Central Valley to mourn for the thousands of lives lost, standing up to the regime.
Fox 26 reporter Sophia Lesseos tells us why many say they are instead celebrating. Sophia?
Liz and Monty, Iran proclaimed 5 days of mourning for the president's death, but some Iranians refuse to actually mourn. That's because they say Ebrahim Raisi was similar to Hitler. Usually the loss of a president would have many mourning, but Iranians say many are actually celebrating.
Our family members and friends across the world who've had their loved ones killed by this individual, they may feel some degree of peace at the fact that he's no longer there, carrying out violent and repressive policies, including terrorism.
Dr. Mehdi Gajar, a member of the Iranian American community in Gina Fresno, says Iran's president was not a good one.
There's a great degree of celebration and joy in Iran, unfortunately, due to the demise of this individual, because the majority of Iranian people know his personal role in the 1988 death commission that sentenced thousands of people to death.
President Raisi's government faced years of mass protests over the economy and women's rights. While Iranian leaders have proclaimed a 5-day mourning following the reports of the helicopter crash, there are many reports of celebratory fireworks lighting up the sky.
You see videos in social media about Iranians celebrating both personally in an anonymous fashion because they fear for their lives, they fear for their arrest. Would you feel sad if someone just told you Hitler or Mussolini had died in an accident, or the heads of Hamas had just perished in a helicopter crash? You certainly wouldn't.
Hundreds of people were killed in 2022 alone, according to an official report released by the country. That's after the death of Mahsa Amini, a woman detained over her alleged loose headscarf. Gajar says those are the deaths they're really mourning.
Our hearts are with the families of the victims of the tens of thousands of Iranians that Ebrahim Raisi personally had a role in either executing or sending to the prisons and the gallows of the Islamic regime.
Condolences have poured in from allies of Iran, including India's Prime Minister and Russian President Vladimir Putin. But many Iranians against the regime are asking people to not mourn the death. Liz and Monty.
All right, thanks so much, Sophia. Now, Raisi is the second Iranian president to die in office.
In 1981, a bomb blast killed President Mohammad Ali Rajai days after the country's Islamic Revolution.